Hello and welcome to another pipe presentation video. Let's try to make a single video about all of these 7 pipes that I called myself Silver Square series because of the inlaid silver square on each and every one of them. As I wrote in all listings, they came in a group of 7. As you see them now, they don't have any sort of text stamped on them, different shapes and sizes. They all have that white band insert in common, and they're all unfiltered pipes. So let's just go quickly one by one and show them a bit better. So we were starting with the band shape. I think it was the first one I posted. Smooth natural finish, thicker walls, the chamber is deep. What's common to all pipes as well is a narrow chamber opening. Minimal signs of wear or use and several surface briar imperfections on stummel. Let me just detach it. Quite long tenon, as you can see. No bite marks. Great condition of this vulcanite stem. Some angled grain. You see these small stains as imperfections. There's the dot, more here. Just align it. It's quite long. Bend is quite strong. Let's move on to the second one. Second one, straight bulldog shape, usual diamond shank and saddle stem, but that transition is quite shallow and discreet. Close to mint with mild surface cuffing and one small factory fill on shank. Same like the first one. Let's show stem first. No bite marks. Tenon is not as long as first pipe had it. Moving on to the rim, maybe only slightly darkened, but that's hardly even visible. Darker stain on this one, as you can probably notice. And there's the small fill and imperfection. Let me just find an angle for it. Small one, but still kind of visible. Some surface cuffing you can see, also minimal. And that's all for the second one, the straight bulldog. This part, I mean, it aligns. Yeah, I turned it the wrong way. Sort of perfectly. Only one of them doesn't align perfectly. This one, as you can see, does. Moving on to the next one. This freehand, if you ask me, is the most interesting one among these. Tall, slim bowl with one flat side. That would be the side facing shank. Mm, Square shank and stem. Ball feels disproportional, especially if you look like this, how thin it looks, and even like this, shank and stem feel super oversized and massive compared to this smaller ball and chamber. Mint with only few mild signs of wear or use. Let's disconnect it. The tenon is long on this one, as you can see. This part, sorry, I was looking outside the camera, so I didn't figure out how distant that was. This part looks like just, big chunk of block you just cut there. Again, let's start with stem. Very wide, square sort of looking. Very, very small imperfections there. Oval rim, nice and clean. Nice grain on this one. Probably the best looking among all of these. Really weird looking shape, I have to say again. Feels awkward when you hold it in your hand. Comfortable, very comfortable, because your finger here just sort of a thumb actually sits here perfectly, and it's super flat, so it kind of leans on to other fingers. It's light, although not the widest chamber, but it's fairly deep. So that's all for this freehand. Moving on to the next one. Next one is the bent Bulldog. Let me just read a bit about it. Usual diamond shank and stem, and minimal darkening on rim, and also minimal surface scuffing. Let's disconnect it. Fuzzy looking a bit around the inlaid. Actually, this one is the only one that has two square silver inlaid plates. One is found on stem, and it's a bit funky looking around, but it's still there. Other ones, all of them have just the one square on stummel, where shank is, located on shank. Moving on to the rim. This one has some darkening and burning, as you can see. Nothing too scary or strong, but just visible darkening on the very edge. Imperfection there. Factory filled. Some minimal spacing there between band and stem, as well as band and shank. You can sort of press it a bit, but there's some minimal spacing there, but it holds on nicely to it, so no worries there. And after first smoking, it should all be stronger and maybe even sit better after that first smoke. So that's all for this bent Bulldog. Moving on to the next one. Next one is a billiard sitter with settled stem and partial rustication on the left side of the bowl. Um, Walls are thicker and wider on the left side where rustication is found, mint with few small scratches and a couple of small factory fills. Let's disconnect this one as well. They all have in common that stems are in, maybe on a couple of them there are some minimal small micro dots, but no bite marks on any of them, and stems are really in nice condition. Thicker walls, as you can see on this one. Nice rim edge, clean with minimal barely visible darkening. Sort of thicker there where rustication is found. This small line which you see here as a crack line is a consequence of rustication being finished here, so it caught on a bit there and just continued on a bit towards the shank. Shouldn't be any problems with that. Just, you know, when I made a finish, it's quite strong and it probably just spilled over there, caught it a bit, but nothing scary. Really deep and strong rustication on that side. We have those fills I mentioned there. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is again a billiard sitter with rustication. This one is a bit different. It's got a wide and slim shank that continues on to the settled stem. A few mild signs of wear and one small factory fill on bottom side of the shank right there. And stem doesn't align perfectly with the shank. If you turn it this way, it goes all the way down. If you turn it like this, it sticks up like that. Sticks out, to be exact, sorry, like that. I did try to sort of fix it, but I failed. It holds on nicely, but you know, it just doesn't align perfectly and it stays like that. You might have some sort of fix for that. I tried, but did not succeed in it. No bite marks on stem. Tenon is extremely long on this one, as you can see. Rim edge is nice and clean. Oval rim edge, as you can see. Bowl is proportional, but then thicker on this side where rustication is found. Sort of a Play-Doh finish. Yeah, like this. Moving on to the last one. And the last pipe from this group is a billiard with oval bottom, bowl bottom, and settled stem, a somewhere taller bowl with narrow chamber, small block imperfections, and several small factory fills all over briar, lightly smoked, otherwise close to mint. Now, this one obviously had bit more imperfections than other ones. Let's quickly show its stem. Saddle part is quite short. It's wide and sort of oval with long tenon. No burns or darkening on rim. Small sort of imperfection there, like a small line. One there. And you're gonna notice these small imperfections again all over briar. You see them there. Here. They are small, but they're all over the place. Surface imperfections, again, small lines, looking like small worms. I guess there were just quite a few of nods on this block, but they decided to repair what could be repaired and just go ahead and use it. Of course, you can still smoke this pipe. None of those should represent any sort of problem when you smoke it, but aesthetically, you know, it's got quite a few of these small imperfections. So all of these kind of look alike. They're not gonna be priced high. Actually, they're gonna be quite affordable. And that would be all for this group video of all 7. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.